hardest trip with the band. Well, I don't know. I guess there's been a lot of hard trips, but I don't want to complain. But I guess the most interesting story would be in Canada, January, between January and February, probably the second week of January, early February. I'm from the UP of Michigan. I mean, it's not a big deal to see snow or ice or whatever. I mean, 50 below, who cares? But I think the trip between Edmonton and Fort McMurray probably be the worst. Probably the most hair-raising. I mean, we spent probably around 3 weeks in Canada before we hit Fort McMurray, I would guess. And the stretch between Edmonton and Fort McMurray is literally like, at least with the weather it was, probably about 12 to 14 hours of driving. And when we were going to stop in Edmonton for fuel for the bus. And by this time we had 3 weeks into touring, and we had like blankets on every window, and the bus was, it's an older bus, so we had the house heating system. We had what I mean by the house is the generator runs like a house furnace, and then there's the bus furnace, the bus heating system, and then that was still kind of chilly. It was 55 below, okay, so we stopped at a truck stop, and I went to a Walmart nearby, because they have those in Canada too. And the only difference is they wear layers of pajamas there. I'm just kidding. Anyways, we bought a propane torpedo heater and a couple 20-pound cylinders. So just in case we broke down on the side of the road, I figured it'd be nice to have that or whatever. So anyways, before we even got to the truck stop, there's a sign that says, your last stop for fuel before north of Edmonton. So we're driving another mile. Very last stop ahead for fuel. Get your fuel now before north of Edmonton. There's another sign about a mile down the road. Seriously, this is the last stop for fuel, and it had like crossbones and skull on there. Get your fuel now. And then there's one more sign right before you turn in that says, good choice. And so we filled up our fuel, and we had 250 gallons of regular fuel on board on the bus, and then we had another couple 55-gallon drums just in case we broke down for generator. And you know how you carry Snickers bars in your glove compartment with a candle? Well, anyways, that was basically our backup plan, because we had a lot of food on the bus, and just to stay warm until help would come by. And I thought they were kind of exaggerating or whatever. And anyways, we jumped in the bus, and we're rocking, ready to go here, and bring on Canada. We get about 4 or 5 hours down the road, and I realized that this is like a 2-lane road, okay? And this is like, there's nothing. There's no houses. There's no businesses. There's nothing. This is only 4 hours away. And 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours into it, all I see is log trucks, and I see oil trucks coming down the road, and I hear on the CB is, what the heck is that stagecoach doing way up here? I've never seen one of those up here. What the heck is a Motongator? And anyways, it was kind of funny, but it made me kind of concerned, because I only seen a truck every, I don't know, maybe a half hour or so, and I mean, it was desolate, okay, and I come from a pretty desolate area. I was wearing long johns, sweatpants over my jeans, and then I was wearing insulated coveralls, like Carhartts, and I was still cold driving. So I had a blanket, and then we had to turn that torpedo heater on, along with the house system, the bus system, the auxiliary heat, the electric heat, and the torpedo heater, and it was still freaking cold, 55 below. Plus we're going down the road at about 50 miles per hour at least. And anyways, I get about 3/4 of the way there. My GPS is saying that we're almost there, so we only got like 4 hours left, or 3 hours left. And I come over the hill, and I see the biggest structure I have ever seen in my life. It dwarfed the space shuttle main booster rocket, and what it was, well, I didn't know what it was, but there was like 4 semis tractors pushing it, and there's 4 semis or 2 semis pulling it. So there's 6 semi tractors pushing this thing. Anyways, they stopped us and they made us go off the road and then around it, and then we got to Fort McMurray, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe we made it. And we got to drive back, and that was a mild day. Anyways, we showed up at that bus. It was like a freaking alien spaceship landed. There's people taking pictures of it, and there's people touching it and shaking our hands and this and that. And I thought, wow, are they playing our music? Did people think we're a star or what? No. Anyway, what it turned out to be is that we were the only entertainers ever to come to Fort McMurray with their own tour bus. Everybody else flew in. And I would have to say that if I did it again, I would fly. Because the trip back was not any better. I'll tell you that in a little bit.